My name is Natalie Chen. I'm 25 years old. 9 weeks ago, I sat in my parents' living room while they hosted a celebration dinner for my brother Kevin. 42 people filled their house: extended family, family friends, neighbors from our community in San Diego. My father stood up to make an announcement. "We're so proud of Kevin. After taking some time to find himself, he's finally ready to start his own business, a tech startup. We've given him seed funding to get started, $95,000. We believe in investing in our children's dreams." Everyone applauded. My mother beamed. Kevin stood there looking humble and grateful. Then someone asked, "Wow, where did you get that kind of money to invest?" My mother laughed. "Oh, we've been saving, and Natalie's scholarship money helped. She got this big academic scholarship to UCLA, but decided to take out loans instead. Very responsible of her. So we were able to redirect those funds to Kevin's future." 42 witnesses heard my mother claim I'd voluntarily given up my scholarship so my dropout brother could start a business. But what they didn't know was that sitting in the corner was Margaret Foster, the assistant bursar from UCLA's financial aid office. And what my parents really didn't know was that Margaret had brought copies of the 12 recorded phone calls where my mother had impersonated me, forged my signature on financial aid documents, and redirected $127,000 in scholarship funds to accounts I'd never authorized. Before I tell you what happened when Margaret stood up and introduced herself, please like and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy this story. Drop a comment. Where are you watching from and what time is it? I'd love to hear from you. Now, let me take you back to where this really began. Growing up in San Diego, I learned early that Kevin's potential mattered more than my achievements. My family consisted of my father, who owned a small chain of dry cleaning stores, my mother, who managed the books, my older brother Kevin, who was brilliant but unfocused, and me, the daughter who worked hard but would never be enough. Kevin brought home genius. I brought home grades. When I was 13, I won the California State Science Fair with a project on renewable energy storage. First place in my category, beating 340 other students. The prize included $5,000 and automatic entry into the Intel International Science and Engineering Fair. I showed my parents the trophy, practically glowing with pride. My father glanced at it. "That's nice, Natalie. Did you finish your chores?" That same week, Kevin got accepted into a summer coding camp. Not a competitive one, just a local program that accepted anyone who paid the $800 fee. My parents threw a dinner party, invited 30 people, spent hours talking about Kevin's natural talent for technology. I told myself it was fine. Kevin was older. He needed encouragement. At 17, I had a perfect 4.0 GPA, 1580 SAT score, and had been accepted to UCLA with the Regents Scholarship, the university's most prestigious merit award. Full tuition, housing stipend, priority registration, faculty mentorship. Worth approximately $127,000 over 4 years. I'd also been accepted to Stanford and Berkeley, but UCLA's Regents Scholarship was the best financial package. My parents wouldn't have to pay a cent. My high school held an awards ceremony to honor scholarship recipients. I was one of 3 students in my school's history to receive UCLA Regents. My parents came but left during my speech. Kevin had texted that he was bored at home. They gave me a card that said, "Congratulations," with $20 inside. 3 years earlier, when Kevin graduated high school with a 3.1 GPA and got into a mid-tier state school, they'd thrown him a graduation party that cost $8,000. A DJ, catered food, a photo booth, 150 guests. I told myself it was different. Boys needed bigger celebrations. Somehow. Kevin dropped out of college after 2 semesters, just stopped going to classes, spent his time gaming and thinking about startup ideas. My parents were disappointed but supportive. "Kevin's too creative for traditional education," my mother explained. "He needs to find his own path." They continued paying his rent, his food, his expenses, approximately $2,500 a month. Meanwhile, I started at UCLA, moved into the dorms, attended my Regents Scholar orientation, met with my faculty mentor. I was studying biomedical engineering with plans for medical school. The scholarship covered everything: tuition, housing, even a book stipend. I had to maintain a 3.5 GPA, which was challenging but doable. During my first semester, I got an email from the Bursar's office. "There's been a change to your financial aid package. Please contact us." I called immediately. "What kind of change?" "It looks like you've requested to decline your housing stipend and redirect those funds elsewhere. Is that correct?" "No, I never requested that." "Let me pull up the paperwork." Pause. "We have a signed form from you dated 3 weeks ago requesting the change." "I didn't sign anything. Can you send me a copy?" They emailed it. The signature looked like mine but wasn't quite right. The request redirected my housing stipend, $6,000 per quarter, to an external account I didn't recognize. I called my parents. "Did you do something with my scholarship money?" My mother sounded annoyed. "Natalie, don't be dramatic. We just adjusted a few things. You're living in the dorms anyway. The housing stipend was extra. We're using it to help Kevin get on his feet." "That's my scholarship money. It's our family's money. You wouldn't have any of this without us raising you, feeding you, supporting you. Kevin needs help right now. You're fine." "Mom, that's fraud. You can't just redirect my financial aid." "We're your parents. We can make decisions about family finances. Stop being selfish." I was 18, overwhelmed, and didn't know what to do. I called the bursar's office back. "My mother forged that form. I want my housing stipend restored." They were sympathetic but bureaucratic. "We'll need to investigate. In the meantime, the funds have already been distributed for this quarter." I lost $6,000. Had to take out a student loan to cover expenses my scholarship should have paid. But I thought that was the end of it. A one-time thing. A mistake I'd prevent in the future. I was wrong. Over the next 3 years, my mother systematically stole my scholarship money. She'd call the financial aid office pretending to be me. She forged my signature on forms. She created email addresses that looked like mine but with slight variations. nchen@UCLA instead of nchen@g.ucla. She redirected funds little by little. $6,000 here, $8,000 there. Sometimes it was the housing stipend, sometimes research grants I'd earned, sometimes the book allowance. Each time, I'd find out weeks later when bills didn't match what they should. Each time, I'd fight to get the money restored. Each time, the process took months. And each time, my mother would act like I was being unreasonable. "Kevin is starting a business, Natalie. Family helps family. You're getting a free education. Stop complaining." Except it wasn't free anymore. I had to take out $47,000 in student loans to cover what my scholarship should have paid. Money that was stolen to fund Kevin's business ideas that never went anywhere. Senior year, I applied to medical schools. Got accepted to UCSD School of Medicine with a partial scholarship. Not enough to cover everything, but significant. I was working 2 part-time jobs, studying for the MCAT, finishing my thesis. Exhausted but determined. Then I got an email from UCLA's Bursar's office. "There's a hold on your account. Please contact us immediately." I called. "What kind of hold?" "You have an outstanding balance of $31,000. Until it's paid, we can't release your transcripts or diploma." "That's impossible. My scholarship covers tuition." "Ms. Chen, according to our records, you've been receiving reduced scholarship distributions for the past 3 years due to multiple financial aid adjustments you've requested." "I never requested adjustments. My mother has been forging." "We'll need documentation to support that claim. In the meantime, the balance is due." I couldn't graduate. Couldn't get my transcripts sent to medical school. My UCSD acceptance was contingent on completing my UCLA degree. I called my mother, crying. "You've stolen so much money that I can't graduate. I can't go to medical school. You've destroyed my future." "Don't be so dramatic. We'll figure it out." "How?" I need $31,000 in 2 weeks or I lose everything. Take out another loan. You're young, you can pay it back. This is money you stole from me, money I earned through my scholarship. We borrowed it for Kevin, he's family. Family helps each other. I hung up and called a lawyer, a legal aid attorney named Robert Martinez who worked with students. This is financial aid fraud, he said after hearing my story. Your mother committed identity theft and fraud. We can pursue criminal charges. I just want my money back. I just want to graduate. Then we need to prove the fraud. Do you have any evidence? I had emails, texts from my mother admitting she'd redirected funds, but nothing concrete. Robert contacted UCLA's Bursar's office on my behalf. We need records of every financial aid adjustment made to Natalie Chen's account. Every form, every phone call, everything. That's when we met Margaret Foster. Margaret was the assistant bursar who handled financial aid disputes. She'd been working at UCLA for 15 years and had seen everything. Miss Chen, she said when we met in her office, I've pulled your complete file. There are 12 separate instances over 3 years where financial aid was redirected from your account. I didn't authorize any of them. I believe you, because we record all phone calls to our office, and I've listened to every single one of the calls where you requested these changes. My heart stopped. You have recordings? University policy. All calls are recorded and kept for 7 years. And Miss Chen, the voice on those recordings is not yours. It's a woman in her 50s. Your mother is 53, correct? Yes. Margaret pulled up audio files on her computer. Listen to this. A woman's voice. Hi, this is Natalie Chen. I need to make a change to my financial aid distribution. It was my mother. Clearly. Unmistakably. Margaret played another call. Same voice. Different date. Another fraudulent request. I have 12 calls, Margaret said. All made by someone impersonating you. All requesting fund redirections. Total amount redirected over 3 years. $127,000. I started crying. Can this help me graduate? It can do more than that. This is criminal fraud. Identity theft. Your mother impersonated you to steal federal and university scholarship funds. That's a felony. Robert leaned forward. Margaret, would you be willing to provide these recordings to law enforcement? Absolutely. This is exactly the kind of fraud we're supposed to report. I'm actually required to report it. She looked at me. Natalie, I'm sorry this happened to you, but I'm going to help you fix it. Over the next 2 weeks, Margaret worked with UCLA's administration to clear my account. The $31,000 balance was removed, reclassified as stolen funds rather than student debt. My transcripts were released. I graduated on time. But Margaret wasn't done. I'm filing a report with the district attorney's office. Your mother committed systematic fraud against a university and a scholarship recipient. She needs to face consequences. The DA's office opened an investigation. They subpoenaed my parents' bank records and found exactly where the money had gone. Kevin's rent, his business expenses, his car payments, even a $15,000 vacation to Japan for my parents. My scholarship money. Stolen. Spent. The DA offered my mother a deal: plead guilty to fraud and identity theft, pay full restitution, or go to trial and potentially face 5 years in prison. My mother refused to plead guilty. I was helping my family. That's not a crime. It is when you commit identity theft and fraud to do it, the prosecutor said. During this time, Kevin announced he was finally starting his real business, a tech startup. He needed seed funding. My parents held a celebration dinner, announced they were giving him $95,000 to get started. I wasn't planning to attend, but Margaret called me that morning. Natalie, your parents are having a party tonight? Yes, celebrating giving my brother money I'm sure they don't have. Your mother told the DA they can't afford restitution, that they're broke, but they're giving your brother $95,000? Sounds about right. I'd like to attend that party, as a guest, to ask some questions. I gave her the address. The party was exactly as I expected. 42 people, catered food, my parents playing the generous benefactors. My father made his announcement about investing in Kevin's dreams. My mother's comment about my scholarship money being redirected. I stood in the corner, watching them lie to everyone. Then Margaret walked forward. "Mrs. Chen? I'm Margaret Foster from UCLA's Bursar's office." My mother's smile faltered. What are you doing here?" "I wanted to clarify some things you just said. You claimed Natalie voluntarily declined her scholarship funds so you could redirect them to Kevin. Is that correct?" "Yes, she was very generous." "That's interesting, because I have 12 recorded phone calls where you impersonated Natalie to fraudulently redirect her scholarship funds. Would you like to hear them?" The room went silent. Margaret pulled out a tablet and played the first recording. My mother's voice, clear as day. "Hi, this is Natalie Chen. I need to redirect my housing stipend." My Aunt Linda gasped. "That's your voice, Susan, not Natalie's." I was just helping." Margaret played another recording. And another. 3 different calls, all obviously my mother's voice. "Over 3 years," Margaret said to the room. "Mrs. Chen impersonated her daughter 12 times to steal $127,000 in scholarship funds. Funds that Natalie earned through academic merit. Funds that were supposed to pay for her education." My Uncle James spoke up. "Susan, you stole Natalie's scholarship money?" "It wasn't stealing. It was family helping family. Kevin is 30 years old," I said quietly. Everyone turned to look at me. "He's a college dropout who's been living off your money for 7 years. You stole my scholarship, money I earned, to fund his lifestyle while I had to take out $47,000 in student loans." "You're being dramatic," my mother snapped. "Am I?" I pulled out documents. "Here's the debt I accumulated because you stole my scholarship money. $47,000 in student loans. I had to work 2 jobs while finishing my degree because you redirected my living expenses to Kevin's rent." Margaret stepped forward again. "The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office has filed criminal charges against Susan Chen for identity theft, fraud, and theft of educational funds. She's facing up to 5 years in prison." My father went pale. "You're pressing charges against your own mother? She committed 12 felonies, Margaret said. "The university is legally required to report scholarship fraud. This isn't Natalie's choice. It's criminal prosecution." My mother was crying now. "We were just trying to help Kevin. He has so much potential." "Kevin is a 30-year-old man who hasn't worked a real job in 7 years, I said. "You've given him everything while I worked for everything I have. And when I finally earned something on my own merit, a full scholarship, you stole it." I turned to my brother. "Kevin, where do you think the $95,000 for your startup came from?" He looked uncomfortable. "Mom and Dad said they'd been saving. They're being prosecuted for fraud. They told the DA they're broke, they can't afford restitution. But somehow they have $95,000 for you?" I shook my head. "That money came from somewhere. Probably their retirement accounts. Or maybe they took out loans. Either way, they're bankrupting themselves for you while I'm drowning in debt from loans I shouldn't need." My Aunt Linda walked over and hugged me. "Natalie, I'm so sorry, we didn't know." Others came forward. My Uncle James, family friends who'd known me since childhood. People were furious with my parents. "You made her take out loans while you stole her scholarship?" my uncle demanded. "Susan, David, how could you?" My father couldn't answer. Margaret held up more papers. "The DA is seeking full restitution, $127,000 plus interest. The Chen's assets will be seized and sold to repay Natalie. That includes the dry cleaning business, their home equity, retirement accounts, everything." "You can't take our business," my father shouted. "You stole $127,000 from your daughter's education," Margaret said flatly. "Yes, they absolutely can take your business." My mother turned to me, desperate. "Natalie, please, Tell them to drop the charges. We're your parents. We were trying to help Kevin." "You weren't helping Kevin. You were enabling him. And you destroyed my future to do it." I picked up my bag. "I'm starting medical school in the fall with $47,000 in unnecessary debt because you stole my scholarship. You impersonated me. You forged my signature. You committed crimes. And you did it all while telling me I was selfish for wanting the money I'd earned." Kevin finally spoke. "I didn't know. I swear, Natalie, I didn't know they were stealing from you." "But you never questioned it, did you? You're 30 years old. You've been living off them for 7 years. You never wondered where the money came from? Never thought about getting a job?" He couldn't answer. I walked out. Margaret followed. "You okay?" she asked. "Better than I expected. The restitution process will take time, but you'll get your money back. Every dollar." "Thank you. For believing me. For keeping those recordings. For caring enough to investigate." She smiled. "That's my job. And Natalie, you're going to be an amazing doctor. Don't let them make you doubt that." That was 9 weeks ago. My mother took a plea deal. 3 years probation, full restitution, community service, and she's banned from accessing any of my financial accounts ever again. The restitution is being paid through the sale of my parents' business and their home. They're downsizing to a small apartment. Kevin had to move back in with them. They can't afford his rent anymore. The $95,000 they'd promised Kevin? Seized by the court as part of restitution. He's not getting his startup funding. He got a job at Best Buy instead. First real job in 7 years. I'm starting at UCSD School of Medicine next month. The $127,000 in restitution is being used to pay off my student loans and cover my medical school expenses. I'll graduate with minimal debt, exactly as I would have if my scholarship hadn't been stolen. Margaret became a friend. She connects me with other students who've experienced financial aid fraud. "You'd be surprised how common this is," she told me. "Parents stealing scholarship money, redirecting grants, committing fraud. Someone needs to help these students fight back." We're working on changing UCLA's policies to require additional verification for financial aid changes. Harder to impersonate someone. Better fraud detection. Robert, my lawyer, helped me get a restraining order preventing my parents from accessing any of my financial information. They proved they can't be trusted. Protect yourself. People ask if I'll ever reconcile with my parents. If family isn't worth preserving. If criminal prosecution was too harsh. And here's what I know. My mother committed 12 felonies to steal my scholarship. She impersonated me. She forged documents. She lied to federal financial aid offices. She didn't make a mistake. She committed systematic fraud for 3 years. And she did it to fund my brother's lifestyle while I worked 2 jobs and accumulated debt for an education that should have been free. That's not family. That's criminal exploitation. I'm 25 years old. I'm starting medical school. The debt that shouldn't exist is being paid off. My future is back on track. And I'm free from parents who valued my brother's potential over my actual achievements. If you're reading this and someone is interfering with your financial aid, scholarships, or educational funding, document everything. Contact your school's financial aid office. Request call recordings. Get a lawyer. Your scholarship is yours. Your education is yours. And no one, not even family, has the right to steal it. Thank you for reading my story. If it resonated with you, please like and subscribe. Drop a comment. Have you ever had family steal or redirect money that was meant for you? How did you fight back? I'd love to hear from you. You earned your scholarship. You deserve your education. And you deserve a family that celebrates your success instead of stealing it. Stand up for yourself. The evidence might be there, recorded and waiting. You just have to be brave enough to use it.